complementary contrast scale tutorial with Christine Schertz. So to avoid a common mistake with complementary colors, I suggest that you work out this project to help you in the future in all other palettes. I'm Christina Schertz. Thanks for joining me. Complementary colors are opposite on the color wheel. Here are 3 primary colors at the top, red, blue, yellow, with their complementary contrast colors, their complements. For red, it's a blue-green. For blue, it's a orange. And for yellow, it is within the purple range. I appreciate looking back to the Munsell color wheel to assess different attributes of color. So hues when we can distinguish one color from another, like yellow, red, and orange, all 3 different hues. In the Munsell color wheel, it's also broken down into chroma, which is the strength of the vibrancy of the color. A vibrant red lipstick, for example, would look a lot different than a neutralized mauve, let's say. So your supplies. Some brushes, paint, if you want to use a paint knife, a palette knife for mixing, a pencil, paper. Label the top of your paper complementary contrast scale. It's really important to remember the goal here is to find the complementary neutrals. And one of the ways we test it over and over again is we tint it with white, yet you do not put white anywhere else on this complementary contrast scale. It's only in this little curvy bit to the right. It helps us test, it helps us see, because our human eyes, we don't see all the colors that are available to us, actually. But this tinting of white can help a dark color show its attributes to our human eye. Lay out your palette like this. Have a tinting zone, have a mixing zone. Have your primary color at the top, complementary color at the bottom. You'll have your primary color straight out of the tube, your complementary color. Now that's a different deal. You need to take the other 2 primary colors and find just the right blend to be the complement of this particular red. Every single paint tube is different, every single company is different, so it's good to get hands-on with this. I'll be trying to show you a different problem-solving techniques. For example, if you create a mix, you're trying to find the most neutralized, meaning like almost gray, no warmth to it, no coolness to it. It's not one side nor the other. It lacks chroma. So we're trying to get to that point. Is it gray? Oh, it's still a bit blue. It's still a bit green. So let's add red. That would be the opposite. Now, oh my goodness, it's too red. It's too red, my students tell me. What do I do? Look at the color wheel. Think about the opposite side. Add the opposite to it. We'll test it out just to see. How does it look when we tint it in the tint zone? Only keep the white in the tint zone, nowhere else. Do not bring it back to your color. Okay? It's very important. Keep your mixing zone clear of the white. Okay, so let's try this out. Is it neutral? Is it gray? Ooh, no, it looks way too fleshy. It's too warm. It's too red. Okay, jump to the other side. Add some green or blue to it. Let's get back to the palette and see how it goes. Okay, so adding some blue to the original complementary color mix, and then we'll bring it back into the center in our mixing area to see if we can neutralize the warmth in this middle mix color. Okay, so mixing a whole new bit beside it just to see if we can arrive at it with a little more blue. Oh, okay, it's looking much darker. Okay, needs more red. Much darker. And one thing to know about if you have this particular paint brand, the blue is very strong. Okay, so we're gonna test it out. Let's see. Did I get to that neutral? Is it there? Ooh. Hey, not so bad. Not so bad. Okay, if it takes you a couple times to get to this point, please do not despair. You will get there. And then once you do get it, then you can get it forevermore. Why is it nice to have your compliments down and understand them? Well, it's not really because you want to always use them in a painting next to each other, side by side. It's more that it gives you an option to neutralize colors within your paintings without just adding black. When you just add black to a color to neutralize it, it can often lose its life. And the Impressionists really... Think back to the Impressionist paintings that I know you've seen before. One of the things they did is that in the shadows, instead of using black, they used vibrant colors. And they often used the complementary colors beside each other so that from afar it can seem neutralized. Typically, when you add the complementary color beside the main color, it enunciates it. It makes it stronger looking. So if you want a red to seem really, really red, have something green near it. If you want it to maybe be a focal point in your painting. So, I laid this down on a new palette just to kind of clean up my space, working on my organization, trying to ask technology, will you please help me? I know I have things to share. Please help me organize it. Okay. So I like to work in these sort of levels, 5 levels. I like to teach this in value contrast as well. I typically work from the background of the Bauhaus artist and educator Johann Itten and Joseph Albers for their studies on color and color theory. I was a lucky student of Marie Thibault and got to be her assistant as well at Cal State Long Beach. So thank you, Marie. This is was the color knowledge she afforded me. Lets me play with color all the time. And now I'd love to hand it off to you. And feel free to teach everybody you know. So, if you want to make a painting, a nice palette can be often using complementary colors. What I think is nice about it is if you have a minimal palette and you keep your palette just to the complementary contrasts, it works well with nature. Because if you look at every flower, if you look at every plant, they typically automatically at their edges or within their floral parts contain complements. So if we're trying to capture things from the real world, something earthy, the complementary colors are a good choice. So we just went through red and its complement green. How about we move on? There's 3 different ones we'll cover here. Now let's get to the primary color blue. This is a primary blue. It's not too warm, not too cool. Lay out a new palette with a mixing zone. Remember, keep that mixing zone. Keep that tint zone away from the mixing zone. Do not let the white go into the mixing zone and pollute your beautiful chroma. Vibrant colors. And hues, neutralizing in the middle. So let's see, does this orange, what do you think? Do you think it's the complement of this blue? If we mix the two together and then tint it, of course, time to test your mix. then do we find right away that neutral? Let's see. I have my theories. How about you? Looks too green. So maybe this orange needs more red, because that's the opposite of green. Let's go ahead and add some more to the orange. And then mix it out again. Ooh, you know that magic's happening when it looks like that. There's something good happening. We gotta almost be there. I guess we did a replay. Instant replay! Okay, so let's test it. Let's see if we did it. Pretty good. What you say? You think? Okay, 2 tries. Not so bad. I find most of my students, it takes at least 2 tries for most colors. Maybe once we get to yellow and purple, it might take a couple more. Sometimes that's a little more challenging. So lucky you get to lay the blue out straight from the tube. And then we found this lovely vermilion type orange. That's the perfect complement to this primary blue. And then let's fast forward all the way to the end. So we have the blue, we have the orange, we have the complement in the middle. We tinted it right next to it just to show that we could do it. Oh yeah, little water droplets on there. Oh, so sad, but it shows the evidence of our mixing. Okay, final la pièce de résistance. New palette. Let's move on to our primary color, yellow. Yes, yellow. Yellow straight out of the tube on the new palette, guiding our way to understanding how to mix the complementary neutrals. Yes, let's see. Will it be a warm purple, almost magenta? Or will it be a cooler purple? Oh look, on the left I have a warmer version and on the right I have a cooler version. Sometimes that is helpful, especially with the yellow and the purple, because it can be the trickiest one. I try to show, and it might be good to back up and view this again. I try to show you this so that you can see how nuanced, how specific. It's like a recipe. It's like we're cooking. You put a little bit too much Tabasco sauce, it's not going to be the same dish, right? Okay, let's test it out. Which one is the winner? Chicken dinner. Okay, one is cool and one is warm. I don't think either one of them is very good. I don't think so. I think they both are a bit too warm. So, I think what we needed to do, we added a little bit more blue, and then finally we arrived at the coolness of this gray. Okay, let's lay it all out on the line. All different chroma levels, from yellow to purple. I fast forwarded it to so that you may get right to the nitty gritty. The work here is done in the palette. It's in the palette. This is just evidence of the work done in the palette. I hope you enjoyed learning about color with me, and please like and subscribe so that I can be also inspired to make more videos for you. It really is a joy to me. Thanks so much. Let's paint again soon.